Yeah, we have some playoff action to talk about. Let's talk about some basketball that happened this week.
Basketball that happened this week. We got game one of the NBA Finals. So exciting between the Midwest Showdown. We have the Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder. If you
Now, people did say the West Coast, East Coast people like, boring, bad matchup, bad finals,
yeah,
no stars.
there is a lot of like kerfuffle about who is in the playoffs because there is no quote unquote draw. But I don't know how you like. Are you not going to watch like
it's the MVP versus the comeback kids?
Yeah, are you gonna not watch the NBA Finals as well? Like, what else are you gonna go?
Mhm.
Are you gonna go watch the sport we just got done talking about? I mean,
I didn't see a lot of people talking about the baseball games.
Yeah, so you're gonna end up watching it regardlessly. And like you said, Shy versus Haliburton, who was Mr. Overrated. That title may be undeserved and be shed after the playoff run he's had. Game one. Game we've kind of seen before, and they will play game two today as we're talking here on Sunday later this evening at 6 p.m. But game one, Oklahoma City Thunder pretty much dominated all, we'll say, 47 minutes of the game.
47 and 58 seconds is point 3, I believe.
Yeah, it was the full Thunder domination time. I'm going to say maybe a little bit less, maybe like 46 minutes before they started to have their crumble.
The crumble happened in the last 3 minutes for sure. But yeah, the first half was basically by the books and OKC whooping. Over 20 turnovers, I think, in that first half by the Pacers.
The Oklahoma City really only knows how to play one way of basketball, and thankfully enough, they have the free throw merchant himself, Shy. A lot of the times I was tuning in and I'd look and peek, and he's at the free throw line. A lot of love it. That's MVP caliber play right there. No shade, no shade. But game really only came down to the last few minutes there. The Pacers, I will say, they are there for a reason. They fought back a lot more often than I think people have thought, and especially because Haliburton seems to be Mr. Clutch, even more so than Brunson himself, who got the award this year. In any tough situation that really, really matters, he comes through and shines, even against Mr. Clutch himself. In this game, no different here. Last few seconds, dribbles down and hits the game-winning shot. Game-winning 2. No bang, of course, because there was not a 3. Not as exciting, apparently. But Haliburton does seal the game for them, and the Pacers do go up 1-0 on Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City. Again, this is the playoffs where it doesn't really matter where you're playing. It seems like if you're home, you don't really have an advantage. If you're away, you kind of also don't have an advantage. Feels very, very balanced.
And this is, I think, been a consistent thing that we can look back on the trend of the last few years. The championship teams tend to not care about home or away. Like, even when both our teams won the cup those few years back, when the Avs did it in 22, they were like 12-2 on the road or something. They only had 2 road losses, I think, the entire run. I think the Nuggets were pretty similar in the 23 run.
Yeah, I think we had 3 or 4 because that Thunder series went long.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the Pacers, again, we watched them steal both of the first Knicks games in New York.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever the magic sauce is, whatever the secret stuff that's in the team, it looks like they have it this year. Because when you can, this is their like 4th or 5th fourth quarter comeback just this playoffs.
Yeah, they do it quite often.
That's insane. Yeah, because they did it like twice against the Celtics, twice against the Knicks, and now against the Thunder. You better tune into the last 2 minutes of these games from now on. If you're at all interested in basketball, you got to make sure you're there for the ending, because it doesn't matter really what the score says coming into the third or even early in the fourth. It can go any way.
Yeah, the one thing I will say that the Pacers have going for them that the Thunder do not is Pacers do have some championship caliber players on the team. So Pascal Siakam and I think a few other dudes on their team already know what it takes to win and feels like to win. So having that on your team is huge. Oklahoma City Thunder being the youngest team in the NBA, even younger than some of the NCAA teams that are out there.
That's wild.
Yeah, so their average age is, I think, like 23 or 24, and some college teams are about the same, if not.
If it's stacked with seniors or something.
Yeah, like I think the Florida Gators team was like 24 or something like that.
There was definitely, I think, some of that inexperience on display in that fourth quarter collapse as well, because it was, you can give Tyrese all his flowers for the comeback effort, but there are also some fingers to point on the defensive side when you give up a 12-2 run in a minute 10 or something.
Yeah, and I mean the Thunder have done this even a couple times against the Denver Nuggets that we saw as well, where it's just you just go on a late run. I think it was the first or second game in Oklahoma City where Gordon hits the three
Yep.
to kind of tie up the series and grab one away from Oklahoma City.
I think we've yet to see the Thunder prove that they can throw the brakes on one of those comebacks and like shut it down, because they had chances and it was shy, missing shots late. It was, I think Lou Dort got a bad caster curse. He had 5 threes in like the first half, and like, he's on fire. He didn't hit another one all night.
Yeah, just an adjustment to make sure he doesn't hit anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Oklahoma City, I assume eventually in this series is going to win big. Like every series, they seem to win a game by 40 or whatever, but that's not really
in a best of 7 series. You'll take one of those, though. I think if you're on the other side of it, and be like, yeah, we'll take one good punch to the face and then come back at you for another scrap.
Yeah, as long as
it's not game 7.
Yeah, as long as it's not game 7, as long as they're not up 3, we're good.
Yeah, a very entertaining start to that series that, again, a lot of people downplayed as being uninteresting. But, for all the controversies of foul calling and which is still all there, Shai still gets the softest whistle we've seen all playoffs.
'Tis the way of the MVP, at least if you're a little
as long as your name is not Nikola.
You can't be a 7'1" angry Serbian. That's rule number 1.
I reckon. What other basketball news came out this week?
Other basketball news, of course, we have the WNBA action. We are in the midst of the Commissioner's Cup, another in-season tournament, because in-season tournament things seem to be the way of the professional basketballs these days, because we really want to get our players playing earlier than
you want them invested in the early part of the season.
Yeah, because a lot of these seasons are long. The WNBA is not nearly as long as the NBA season, a full 86 grind. They're much shorter. But from this week, the game that I think hurt the heart a little bit was Golden State versus Las Vegas.
Was that the one the Aces got a little whooped up on?
They did. 95-68 was the final there. That
one was a surprise.
Yeah, this one was a little rough. Golden State was on a losing streak before coming into this, but this one hurts a little bit more because it just feels like Vegas is not. They are not the top dog anymore. It feels like the old dog now. Having
might be a little changing of the guard.
Yeah, having Aja there, being potentially the best and greatest of all time throughout the WNBA history, which is a big possibility, is just not enough. The structure and the change-ups that they did this last offseason seem to be going sort of in the wrong direction, mostly because right behind our league leader, Nafisa, is Kelsey Plum, who they traded away, which was a huge asset for them. And
she's really, kind of stepped it up in the new digs.
Definitely, and she has to do so. Sparks, Los Angeles Sparks not winning nearly as much as you'd like to see from an LA team, but they are still young and trying to turn it around. And I think having Kelsey there and sort of bring the vibe and the championship energy is good to have, at least early on there. So maybe in a couple years here, there'll be a little bit of a different look. Vegas, on the other hand, kind of lost a few of their dogs and doesn't feel the same. On the other end there, the big game, Indiana versus Chicago Sky. This one, a little bit sad because still no Caitlin Clark quite yet. So no Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese matchup. But this game did happen in the United Center, which I think is the biggest WNBA arena.
Yeah, that's the big one in Chicago.
Yep, nearly 20,000 fans showed up for this game, so I think it was one of the largest attendance ever. So huge for them. Unfortunately, Chicago's still figuring things out a little bit. As we know,
not pretty out there.
They are much late starters, and I don't know. Maybe they'll flip it on here pretty soon, but early season's a little rough for them. Indiana does look good. I think they are at the top of their division. Looking just sort of at the standings, New York and Minnesota, who we saw in the championship last year, both have yet to lose a game, which is mighty incredible. Phoenix is right behind them, who did almost a complete flip of their team this season, sitting at 6-3. Not too bad for them. Vegas is at 5-4-3 there, and Indiana, who's in the top of their division, oddly enough, is sitting at 3-4. But we got to remember WNBA playoffs is a league-wide look, and we're only taking 8 of those guys into the playoffs. So Golden State, who is they're making their debut, is currently right now in place to make a playoff run.
Nice. And just as a little side note here, in live action today, those Minnesota Lynx undefeated at 8-0, currently 57-54 against the 1-8 Dallas Wings going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Dallas has, like I said, Dallas has been very, very good for most of the season. Like, they've been fairly competitive most of the games, but they are on the younger side, I will say, and missing sort of their key piece. Paige Becker's still out, I think, on concussion protocol. But I will say Dallas is angry and they are hungry, and they've shown a lot of teams that they are right there.
It looks like right now we've got a little showdown between Nafisa and Arike Agumbawale. Arike with the slight edge right now, 24 points and 4 assists against Nafisa's 21.
Yep, and I do believe both unrivaled players.
Yep, they sure were. That's a rematch of the finals in Unrivaled, I believe.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the other game that happened today, Connecticut versus Washington, 67-104. That one.
I was going to let Connecticut slide on that one and just say they had a bad weekend.
They just kind of taken a whooping left and right. So I feel a little bad for them, because this is the second time they've lost by.
We were talking about them, getting shellacked by double digits last weekend too. So, rough time to be a Connecticut fan.
Yeah.
Was that all of our basketball for the week?
It was indeed.